since I am definitely not a professional YouTuber. Hi, hello. If I don't hate this and delete it, I think this will end up being my first YouTube video, so that's exciting. I'm sure even 10 seconds in, you've already noticed that I'm very nervous. I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but for some reason when there's a camera in my face, I just get squirmy and awkward, so please bear with me. I also don't have like a super cute YouTuber setup. I'm currently moving. All this stuff is off my walls, as you can see. But I do have Orlando. I made sure that he was in frame because he's very cute. Wow, how rude of me. I'm just now realizing I didn't introduce myself. So, I'm Brittany. I just turned 28. I live in Florida. I'm an artist and aspiring hairstylist slash cosmetology graduate. Okay, on to the rest of the video. I wanted to make this video because I was making a TikTok series. I make videos over there on TikTok, but I realized I had a lot more to say about this subject than I thought I did. So it was going to end up being like 55 parts of like 3 minutes each, and that was getting annoying. So I decided to take it over to YouTube, make a full-length video. The topic that I am talking about is something called Trichotemnomania, not to be confused with Trichotemnomania, which is a little more commonly known. Honestly, I doubt anyone has heard of this. I'm going to break this video down into parts. The first part being just sort of what it is, and then I do want to go into kind of my history with it personally, and then the final part being how it has negatively impacted my life. So if this is something that interests you, or something you think you might struggle with yourself and you just want some more information, stay tuned. However, I did just learn what this is. So even though I have dealt with it for a long time, I may not be the best source of information. I'm gonna link a YouTuber in the description box here who I discovered. I've watched a lot of her videos. She's really awesome. She's very knowledgeable. So I'm going to put a picture in here of like the Google definition of trichotemnomania. Trichotemnomania, obsessive compulsive habit of cutting or shaving the hair. It is an OCD behavior. It's basically an obsession with cutting or shaving your hair. Now, this is something I've dealt with. Honestly, my earliest memories of doing it, I was probably in elementary school, but when it first became a problem, when it really started like impacting my life almost on a daily basis, I was 14 years old. I wanted to add that it's my understanding from everything I've read that this is relatively uncommon. As far as BFRBs go, it's pretty rare. That's the reason why it took me so long to find any information. I've known for a few years now that I have OCD, and I do get into that, I believe, in the next clip. But until a few days ago, I had no idea that there was a specific term for my type of BFRB. And that really sucks. It's super isolating. I know for me at least, I ended up kind of gaslighting myself for years, thinking, I don't know anyone else who has this. I'm just being crazy. I'm being dramatic. There's no way this is a real thing. I just need to stop. If anyone mentioned me having short hair all the time, I would kind of laugh it off, make a little joke like, yeah, I just can't leave it alone, knowing damn well that it's a lot deeper and more difficult and complicated than that, but it's a lot easier than explaining to someone something that at the time I didn't have what I would consider proof of. I was very concerned that if I told someone, yeah, I have OCD and that's why I cut my hair, it wouldn't make any sense and I would look like a liar or like I was just nuts. Thankfully, now that I know what it is, I found, like I mentioned before, the girl that I'm going to link in the description. I found her videos, which have been extremely helpful. I'm now in a support group on Facebook, which is just such a huge victory. It feels so amazing, so validating to know, hey, this thing I have is real. I was right. I'm not insane. I was diagnosed with OCD, I want to say like 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I also have ADHD that I was diagnosed with as a child. It's very common for people with ADHD to have OCD, specifically usually BFRBs or body focused repetitive behaviors. I do have a few different OCD behaviors I struggle with, but the trichotemnomania has always been the one that was the most prominent, was the most destructive for me personally. I wasn't really sure where the best spot to put this in was, but I wanted to show you guys what my actual hair looks like right now without the wig. I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into, I guess, part 2, my personal history with trichotemnomania. I'm going to show you guys some pictures. Unfortunately, I don't have access right now to like my family's physical pictures, so there's a lot more I'm not going to show you guys. Also, I did have my Facebook taken down, like my old Facebook, a few years ago just because it was like really cringy and it made me uncomfortable. I do wish I had saved all those pictures before I did that though. The pictures I don't have right now, which I'm usually grateful for because they are horrendous. When I was a freshman in high school, I cut my bangs almost like to my hairline. It was very bad. So for most of the school year, I would just have a comb over like a 60-year-old man. I would take a piece of hair from over here, and I'm not talking about like the scene comb over, okay? That was cool at the time. I did that too later on. No, this was bad. I'd take a piece of hair from like over here, put it straight across my forehead, and pin it right here with a barrette. Yeah. I don't have any of those pictures, but I will insert some pictures of when I improved on it a little bit. I got a little bit more creative with hiding it. The first picture I'm going to show, I guess I'll put in right now. Bitch, you ain't fooling no one with that guitar. I don't know what you would call that. I guess like a bubble braid across my forehead. It looks kind of cute. Yeah, I did that because my bangs were really, really short. So I just put the little rubber bands across my forehead. This second picture, I still do. Headbands and bandanas and hats are kind of favorite tools of mine to hide me ruining my hair. Please ignore the makeup. It's atrocious. It's giving, don't be shy, put some more. If you know, you know. I was 17, I think, here. But yeah, it looks pretty normal, but honestly, my bangs are hacked again, so the headband was there to hide that. Here's a picture of me at, I think, 16, wearing one of my mom's Halloween wigs. It's from a Cleopatra costume. I turned it sideways because, of course, I did. I had to have the scene hair. Let's all take a moment of silence for photo bucket editing. Just kidding, I hope it's burning in hell. So I really did spend a lot of my teenage years in high school obsessing over my hair and how I could hide my mistakes. So that's sort of the gist of like my history with this. I guess the only question I didn't really answer is like when I knew, and I don't really remember specifically. I don't remember a specific instance where it like clicked in my brain that something was off with me, that this wasn't normal behavior. I just know I was really young. I know it was sometime when I was a teenager that I realized like this is a problem, there's something going on. But I kind of just ignored it. I had people in my life just telling me, stop, just leave your hair alone. They would get really upset with me for cutting my hair. I just kind of believed that, I don't know, there was something wrong with me, but not in a sense like it was something that could be fixed. It was more like it's a behavioral issue. I'm just used to this. I need to stop doing it. You know, it wasn't until way later that I learned that it's OCD and that it's not something that I can just stop. I want to go ahead and move into the third part of the video now. I think this is the most important, at least for me personally it is. It's possible that it's just like my own insecurity thinking this, but I really do feel like it's a pretty common misconception that it's not a big deal. How could it possibly be that bad? All you're doing is cutting your hair. It's not physically harmful. It's not life-threatening. Don't be dramatic. OCD in general, I feel like a lot of people think it's like it is on TV shows where you just like can't step on cracks and you gotta clean 24/7. And maybe it is for some people, but for me, at least, it's just something that consumes your mind almost constantly. You can't stop thinking about it. You are hyper-focused, hyper-fixated. That's how I am with my hair. I forgot to mention that while these sort of episodes, urges, whatever you want to call them, can be sporadic, they're almost guaranteed to happen in times of extreme stress. I can't easily stop cutting my hair. It's extremely difficult for me, and I don't like my hair short. I know that might come as a shock to a lot of people because my hair is almost always a pixie cut. I think people typically just assume that that's my preference. It's not. It's a huge blow to your confidence, first of all, when you're somebody who feels most beautiful with long hair, and it's almost impossible for you to achieve that. I do have other mental health disorders that do impact my confidence in a negative way, so it only adds fuel to the fire or whatever that I am unhappy with the way my hair looks 90% of the time. So you have me obsessed with my hair in a very unhealthy way to where I'm constantly hyperfixating on every little detail, and me desperately wanting to have long hair, which is very, very unlikely for me to have. That means I wear wigs a lot. I wear hair extensions a lot. I like my hair to look realistic because I do have these kind of intrusive, overthinking thoughts of they're going to know it's a wig. So I like lace front wigs, and I like to glue them down so I can have the most realistic hairline possible. And that leads to this. Bald spots from ripping out my hair with lace glue. And then that's just kind of like a snowball effect of now I need to make sure I constantly have eyeshadow on hand no matter where I am at any given time in case my bald spots are visible. You know, I put brown eyeshadow, and if that wears off, I need to find a bathroom quick. I also look in the mirror a lot, which a lot of people will make jokes just kind of playfully like, man, you must really be feeling yourself, or think that I'm like narcissistic, but in reality it's just my brain is constantly, oh my god, they're looking at your hair, what's going on with your hair, you need to make sure it still looks good, go fix it. It affects my social life because if I'm having a really bad hair day or I feel like I don't have the tools that I deem necessary to look okay, I just will not go out because it's too much anxiety for me. If I don't have my bandanas or a hat that adequately covers what I need it to cover without looking bad, in my opinion, things like that, bobby pins or clips to cover every little too short hair that won't lay down. Quick little story on that note because this is wild, and my sister is my witness. She can attest to this. One time when I had zero plans, I was going nowhere, I sat in front of a mirror, maybe one bathroom break when it was an absolute emergency, no food breaks, and I smoked cigarettes at the time. I don't now. No smoke breaks, nothing. I'm gonna say it was probably 10 p.m. when I started, maybe earlier, and like 6 or 7 in the morning when I finally stopped. Laying the edges of a wig, doing my baby hairs with gel and a toothbrush for at least 9 hours nonstop. It's bad, man. It's really bad. I'm gonna share a story with you guys that is humiliating. I'd never told anyone this before. My dad kind of reminded me the other day because we were talking about me figuring out like what trichotemnomania is and everything, and it just kind of took me back. It's really embarrassing, but it's kind of important to my story and just for you guys to know like how beep it can be. When I think I was 16. I was dating this boy. We had plans in like an hour, and I ruined my hair again because I just can't leave it the hell alone. Having a whole ass panic attack, freaking out because I knew I had to get ready. I had to go soon. My parents caught me gluing synthetic hair from like a ponytail extension to my own hair with hot glue. In my defense, and it's not much of a defense, I knew at the time that it was stupid. I knew the risk. I knew I could burn myself. I could end up in the hospital. I was that desperate. I didn't know what else to do. Logic would say anything but that. But I was just so scared that he was going to see. I ended up wearing a freaking fedora. It really occupies my mind an abnormal and unhealthy amount of time. Also, simple things that most people wouldn't even think about, like going swimming or being in a situation where you might be asked to remove your bandana or hat, like a church setting or someone's family dinner. The absolute fear you feel being like that vulnerable is enough to sometimes just make you hide and avoid people and places altogether. These thoughts may seem irrational, and they are, but that's not to say that there aren't people out there who are mean. I still remember a comment that I'm sure this girl forgot 10 minutes after she made it years ago when I was a teenager. Someone I considered one of my very best friends told me that I was, quote, rocking the dyke spike. That stuck with me because I didn't want to look like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it if that's what makes you feel confident, but super short hair has never made me feel confident. Quick message from a very tired editing me. Remember how we were just talking about hyperfixation? Yeah, I started working on this video at like noon. It's 2:30 a.m. Send help. I wanted to say, obviously, just don't say rude ass shit. That just goes without saying. It's common sense. But it's super, super harmful for people with OCD. What I'm sure the girl in my story didn't realize is that right before I walked outside for her to make that comment, I had spent the last probably at least an hour in the mirror trying to convince myself that I didn't hate my hair, that it wasn't ruined, that I wasn't ugly. I finally had styled it in a certain way and worked up the courage to leave my house, just for all of that to immediately go out the window with one hurtful comment. Also, and if you're someone who does struggle with OCD, you probably already know what I'm about to say. Unlike the straight up insults, I feel like this next thing comes typically from well-meaning people. But please, don't tell me to just leave my hair alone, just let it grow out, just don't do it, just stop. I can't just stop. It's not that easy for me. Even though you may fully believe that helps, it's having the opposite effect. It's honestly really insensitive. Even worse than that, I feel like, though, are the, oh, but your hair looks so pretty long. Why did you do that? Why'd you cut it? It just sucks because I promise you I'm already telling myself the same thing. I'm already beating myself up. Telling me you hate what I did to my hair or you liked it better long doesn't magically make it grow back. It doesn't magically cure my OCD. So what benefit does it have? It costs nothing to be nice, Karen. I initially made the decision to go to cosmetology school for that reason. I thought it would help. Now, I do want to say, before anyone gets discouraged from letting me do their hair, I could put pictures of my work. Maybe I'll link my hair Instagram in the bio. I don't have this issue with anyone else. I promise I'm not going to your hair up. I'm very good at what I do. I hate it. It sucks to live with, but I don't do it to anybody else. I know that with all BFRBs like trichotillomania, dermatillomania, where you compulsively pick at your skin, things like that, the best way to manage it is with, oh my gosh, I'm having the biggest brain fart. I know what this is. Hang on. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. I just remembered. Okay. I need to start trying to do that again. I know I do. For other things too. For a lot of issues in my life. So, goal right now is to keep doing research, keep watching. I can't remember her name, but I'm going to remember and put her YouTube and maybe even her TikTok in the description. I'm going to keep watching her stuff. I'm going to keep learning and keep trying. And maybe I'll keep posting on here, keep you guys updated on my journey if anybody cares. Maybe I won't. Maybe this will be my only video. But anyway, if anybody watched, thank you for watching. Yeah. Bye!